we are looking at when it comes to our lives and the decisions that we make in our lives. It says that we've come too far to give up now. And I know for some of us that want to fix everything as a fixer, and I know, Dad, you talk about if there's something that you don't like, fix it. But I'm talking about some of those women and mothers that are fixing something about their children, that they constantly want to feel needed, fixing something about their partners, their mates, their spouses, significant others, or whatever the case. They want to be there. But who is actually checking for you, sis? Who's actually looking out for you and calling to make sure that you're okay? After you've done fixing everyone's lives and making sure that they have everything that they need in their lives, who's actually calling to check on you? And so, of course, it can become draining and a big strain on yourself because you haven't taken time to see what exactly is going on with you. That's just how you're built. You're built to make certain that everyone else is okay. But you've forgotten one essential part of all of that, you. You've gotten lost in these roles that you are involved in when it comes to not recognizing yourself anymore. And that is something that we do, unbeknownst to us, that we do automatically. That's why I suggest the 5 signs you've lost yourself in your roles and how to reclaim you. It's there in the Stand Store in the bio. You can click on it and take an assessment of yourself. But yes, this is something that you do on autopilot, constantly showing up for everyone. And they will continue to rely upon you because you are reliable. They'll continue to need you because you're an enabler. They know that you're going to take care of things. But if you actually sat back and thought about it, who's actually giving you a call to make certain that you're okay? Do you have anyone in your life that's doing that for you to make certain that you have been checked upon? Because again, if someone depends on you and knows that you're going to come through for them 24/7, 365 days out of a year, you're there. And you do it very well. And that's why they don't feel as if you need any help, because you don't display that you do. You have just enough strength to make it through, to be certain that all of their needs are met. But when it comes to you, in your private moment, you may begin to cry in the shower as you bathe. You may begin to weep and moan with whatever it is that you're going through that no one else knows about because you're not sharing. You have a tough skin. And as it rhymes, you won't let anyone else in because they have no idea that you need help because you don't display yourself that way. And as that misnomer goes around, a strong Black woman, that's all they see. And truly you are. You are very strong. But at some point in time, you need a break before you have a nervous breakdown. You need to reel it back. Take a look at yourself and know that you're worthy and deserving of all of the attention that you give everyone else. But this is what I'm asking you today, sis. Who's actually calling to check up on you? As we have heard many times, check up on the strong ones because they're doing things on autopilot without asking for any help. They're showing up whenever they're needed. And I see you, sis. I see you showing up. I see you taking care of business. You are dependable. You are reliable. That's why so many people lean on you. But the question is still today, who's checking up on you? Who's making sure that you're okay? We'll answer it and be done about it. Okay, and so why do Black women in particular struggle to ask for help? And what did we learn in childhood that made us this way? Why do Black women in particular struggle to ask for help? And what did we learn in childhood that made us this way? And so many of the struggles comes from the responsibilities that are placed upon you growing up. In many cases that we've talked about this before. The position that you may be in life as the eldest, perhaps there's been more responsibility placed upon you. And many elder siblings have the responsibility of taking care of their younger siblings. They're being left in charge of the children, as it is the Black women. So perhaps she didn't ever ask for any help because the help was asked upon her from her parents that put her in charge. And then again, if that being in charge has led her astray and she has misused her authority or abused her authority, as in many cases some may do, use their authority against everyone else because they have been given the privilege of making certain that you do exactly what she tells you to do because she's the eldest. And so why do Black women in particular struggle to ask for help? And what did we learn in childhood that made us this way? Perhaps in that example, she learned that her being in charge and the things that she says goes. I said it, and you do exactly what I told you to do. And so she didn't ever have to ask for any help. The help was asked upon her. And so in another example, why do Black women in particular struggle to ask for help? Perhaps it's a prideful thing, as I've shared with you all time and time again, that this is an area that I'm working on personally to be able to ask for help. In many cases, when you're asking for help, there's a level of vulnerability that you show. And that, of course, you have to trust in those that you're asking. And it says here, as we understand, you have not because you ask not. And a closed mouth don't get fed. And so at some point in time, as I'm learning, you have to ask. Because if you don't, people really don't know what it is that you need in many cases. And so perhaps you learn that because, again, that strength, as we hear about the strong Black woman, and I talk about that a great deal. A strong Black woman doesn't need any help from anyone. And that also goes into being an independent woman, as she says that she can do it all herself. She don't need a man. And so you don't ask for help when you don't need any from anyone. You feel as if you can handle it all. And so you go around being this strong person that doesn't need any help from anyone. And so perhaps that's a part of the invisibility that I talked about earlier, that you've neglected yourself, sis, because you're trying to fix everyone else. And so they don't call you. They don't reach out to you because you don't appear to need any help for anything. You're handling it all. You're changing the batteries and the oil in your car. And it's always good for some of us women to know how to do these things. In many cases, as I have understood that many women know how to change tires and they're good mechanics. You know, we can do all kinds of things that a man can do. And some of the things we cannot. And so again, why do Black women in particular struggle to ask for help? Because again, that may appear that she's weak in some cases because you have to hold up this facade that you're a strong Black woman. And as I pointed out, in many cases you are. But you don't have to be all the time. As I'm learning, as I'm going here into some of the grocery stores, there's a huge pack of water that I'm not certain how much it weighs, but it's almost as if it's unbearable in terms of the weight it is. And so I asked for help. Do you mind helping me with this, to lift this? And in many cases, all of the time, the men don't mind helping. And I will go so far as to ask them to take it to my car, and they don't mind helping. But we have to ask. And again, I am learning how to do this. Because perhaps it's just something that I have always have done growing up, making certain to look out for myself when it comes to what I want as a middle child. You don't necessarily receive all of the attention as the baby would receive. And you don't always be reliant upon as the eldest. And so right in the middle, you have to figure things out. And so that helped. And as Dad would contest, I was a baby for quite some time before my brother came along. And so again, I was someone that got a lot of attention. But again, as time went on, I was required to know, and I had to display what it is that I knew. And so again, minding my own way, something that I had to learn in terms of going to school. And so you take the responsibility of doing what you're told when you're in school. You pay attention to class, the teacher giving you an assignment, and that's something that I have always liked to do, to learn. And so we can do that on a day-to-day basis. You're not ever too big to learn something new, and especially about yourself. And so as we recognize what this is and where it comes from, it says, why do Black women in particular struggle to ask for help? And what did we learn in childhood that made us that way? And so once we can figure out where all of this comes from and stems from, we can do something else about it. As Dad would say, we can fix it. If there's something that we need to change and alter and do a reset on, we can figure what that is and move on about our way. So I'm believing that this question, in my opinion, has been answered. If you all have any responses, let your comments be known in the comment section. Let's see what else we can pull here. Thank you all so much for being here. This is Zestful Living with Sweet Tea Morning Show. I'm hoping that we're paying attention to what it is that we're needing. As I'm recognizing you, sis, I see what it is that you're missing, that you feel stuck. And I'm here to let you know. And I recognize you. And I'm here to let you know that you're not alone. So we can do this in this way as we recognize some of the things that we're going through.